marches have fallen, the flower of Landsneer chivalry crushed by the combined arms of Nordenwald's heathen horsemen and disparate Svartsumpf mercenaries. In the chaos of this lightning campaign, an alliance of sorcerers has formed, claiming a chokehold along the Hertzfluss, artery of trade between the three kingdoms, heirs of Kon's Empire of Man. Hohenhof, gateway to the south, is no more, its gates laid open by its gluttonous child lord, and its people slaughtered by the swine-headed Zog. To the south, whispers speak of a double crusade. One to the western reaches of Weirland, to lay claim to a fallen star which served as omen to recent disaster. The other to the north, to reclaim Hohenhof and bring stability to the frontier. These rumors spread north, carried on the lips of refugees, victims of the Summer War, as well as the mercenaries who helped fight it. These dogs of war are barking and snapping. Most turn southward to join the Crusader armies, while others sit and scheme of how best to profit from the bloodshed to come. Across the plains of Sigvardsvatch, far to the west of doomed Hohenhof, treks an unlikely pair. One, a duckman, has found freedom from bondage in the carnage of Hohenhof's siege, and now seeks answers to the mystery that is his past and his parentage. The other, a wild elf, holds within him a secret which could undermine the entire canon of Kon's rule and bring about a religious war which could split the three kingdoms forever. They travel south to Sigvardsgruft, the resting place of one of Kon's 12 champions, as well as the capital of the Markgrafschaft, which bears his name. They travel seeking answers for the questions burning in their heads, from an even more unlikely source, a young wizard with few answers of his own, for whom adventure is as distant as the stars in the sky. We join these two outside of Sigvardsgruft in mid-spring. Around the town are clustered tents. It seems a market has come to the city. A long line of merchant wagons and travelers stream from the gate, seeking entrance beyond the walls.
So this should be the city where the wizard I was talking about is from.
Oh yes? What was his name again?
Oh, I can't even remember. It was so long ago. He went off to school. I really hope he's here. I really do.
But you trust him, right?
No, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust you. But you're different too, and I like that. It brings me great comfort that you're less likely to stab me in the back than I am.
Ah, yes.
What a halfling.
That's because I don't have a sword.
That is very relevant.
Alright, now that we've had our two characters talk it out for a bit,
God damn it.
and our wizard has lost himself in laughter, how about you two describe your characters and put them in this scene? It's very colorful. There may be a minstrel playing his lute to entertain the crowds as they toss copper bowls towards him. The sun is high in the sky, sunny, warm. The cool chill of winter has left the land. It's a hopeful scene. Why don't we start with you, Jack?
Yes, Jack is my common name. The ones from my tribe know me as Junaluska.
You don't need to do this in character, though. Just saying.
Oh my god, yes I do.
Okay.
In my disgustingly horrible Scottish accent.
Okay.
It is supposed to be Scottish, by the way.
Yeah. Maybe you told them that. There's going to be a lot of bad German ones pretty soon.
I've got my little tunic on, pretty simple, with a light cloak over my back.
Do you have a color for that tunic?
It's probably a brownish.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Already covered in
undyed or dirty cloth, yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Might just
much.
be dyed brown. That's easy to do.
Yeah, brown and green, pretty easy. Anyway, red.
Yeah, I have my tunic, which covers my my crossbow behind my back.
Okay. So you look kind of like you have a hunchback.
A little bit,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Which I don't think is too common in this era.
Those 6 goblins over there probably don't agree.
Really not a
First question.
But fine. So you've got your tunic, you've got your crossbow hidden. This is
Yes.
an important detail. Your quiver, is that hidden with the crossbow?
Yes, that
It
was...
was pretty hard to access those in a fight, then, quickly.
Well,
Take your shirt off.
no, it'd be behind my on my.
It's under your cloak, but not under your tunic.
Who's
Yes,
shooting
that's
his
right.
crossbow?
Okay, I understand. Anything else you want to describe yourself as? You're an elf.
Yes, I've got pretty short hair actually, which is a little uncommon in my tribe.
Yeah.
And
Pretty uncommon among elves in general.
Yeah, which makes my ears a little more noticeable. Which, we'll see how that plays out.
Very long ears on elves.
Yes. And I also have a piercing in my brow of a Gila monster tooth, a creature that I have spiritually bonded with.
Right. You said you might have a tattoo on your arm. Have you thought about that at all, or is that not something you want to worry about right now?
It's hidden under my clothes for now. We'll
Okay, we can think
look
about
into
that
that
and
more
put it
later.
in later. Yeah. All right. If there's nothing else you want to add, then we can move on to
The Duckman.
our duck. Yes.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
playing a very handsome, dashing duck
Yes.
who is wearing a delightful Scottish kilt. Very green and
Wonder where I
brown,
got that
splotches of brown. He also has sort of what was a green tunic, but it is very much also covered in mud spots and things like that. Almost it looks like by design, sort of a way to blend into natural colors. Over that is some leather armor that is faded and sort of creased and sort of cracked. Definitely older and used per se. And on that, he also has a beaver cap on his head. And the feathers definitely not well kept. It's not your everyday duck. Very.
Are you a green drake, or do you have any coloration ones?
Probably white gray.
White gray.
Just your standard duck.
Okay.
Backpack sort of things just tied together. On my arm, I have a sling sort of wrapped around. I have
Are you pretending to make that a bracelet? Like, is that?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is sort of a thing.
So that's like a woven sling.
Correct.
Yeah. So it just looks like some string.
A rifle strapped over my shoulder, and a backpack with things sort of strapped onto that hunting trap. And
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mentioned this in session 0, but Jay's character Angus is carrying a matchlock rifle with him. That rifle is currently not loaded correctly.
No.
It's not loaded. Do you have the fuse in it?
So a fuse, yeah.
Fuse is just like the string that you would light. I mean, it's a specific type of string, so that it burns slowly and hotly
He is
enough that you can light
following
fire.
proper gun procedures.
Well,
for safe handling.
I just want to make sure that I understand what that is.
Yes.
Because this is the Middle Ages, quote unquote, even though it's a fantasy D&D world, and so it's not the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I just want to make sure that I understand what safe gun handling is to your character.
No problem.
So, do you have anything else you two characters want to say to each other?
No.
I'm fine with just sort of approaching or trying to get into the city.
All right. So you don't want to visit the markets outside of town.
I don't have money.
Okay. That's
I'm a
fair.
duck slave that was recently freed.
That's fine.
I'm saving it up in case I need to pay off this wizard we're going to see.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that? Why? Do you want to talk about? Have you told Angus why you're traveling to see this wizard at all?
I've hinted at this piece of parchment I have that holds some knowledge.
Is that something you would be curious about, Angus?
Sure. What's on the parchment, laddie? Reminds me from what you've told me before.
Well, it involves a historical figure, and I got it from a tomb.
Which figure?
If you ever don't remember the history, feel free to ask me out of character, and I will be happy to tell you.
Well, it's Sigurd, and
Who's Sigurd?
well, he's an important to the humans, but from this tomb, he's depicted as an elf.
Interesting.
Yes.
Maybe a slave of the humans.
I'm going to
Very
assume you
good.
guys are doing this not in line. You're doing this at a camp in the plains,
As we're approaching probably the city.
like the night before, or a couple
Yeah.
days before.
Oh, he's just spouting heresy in the middle of the market.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I thought we were done before we started.
Yeah, that would kind of suck. So yeah, you don't seem to know very much about the history, which is fine.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Maybe
Anything
no
else you want to
plans
talk about
history.
before? Sorry, I kind of interrupted you there.
So, yes, and the date seems to be a little off than the humans' record shows.
Oh.
Yes, I'm hoping that someone might be able to shed more light on it. Someone, hopefully, we can trust a little bit.
Oh. Yeah, he is human, but he's different, which is very important. The different humans are also looked down upon. I like that in him. Yes. But I wouldn't trust him at all. I don't trust you, remember that.
I will.
Frightening conversation to have around the campfire at night.
So who's on first watch? I don't trust you.
I will mention though, he is somewhat of a young student. He may not necessarily have the answers.
Okay,
I'm just going to him
This is
because
a great Scottish
I need
accent.
money, and it's important for me to walk around with a human. There are not many free duckmen,
Yes.
so I need a sort of a pretend owner.
I think that would benefit my situation a bit as well.
Yes, elves are disgusting too to the
Wow.
humans.
They seem to like the high elves a little more. But
Yes, because they're tall.
maybe.
It's true. I heard that somewhere.
I'm going to cut the campfire chat short.
Before it degrades
any worse. You guys are standing in line. Before you, there is a blonde woman in probably a chain shirt. Looks like a hand-me-down. It doesn't fit her very well. Chainmail's a one-size-fits-all kind of armor, but it seems long on her. She's blonde-haired. Haven't seen her eyes. She has a long, hafted hammer hanging from her saddle, along with a saber or a scimitar. And she's riding a horse. The horse is unmarked. She is sort of dressed underneath her mail in a long red coat, which isn't sort of normal fashion for sort of the Landsneer. Her boots are of an odd style too. The tips curve strangely for the tips, like points.
Dysfunction.
Yeah, and she's sort of just quietly staring ahead. Occasionally she cocks her head to the side and there's a noise, quite quickly and jerkily. And you're waiting in line.
That one seems on edge.
She looks like she might be from the plains where my tribe's from.
Okay,
There are the horse people that ride along there.
so she'd probably get along with you. This would be good. This would be good.
I'm not
Look it up in
really,
the world.
not
Very
really
good.
here to make friends.
Yes, but you know
Yes,
they
you
might
are.
let us in the city. You know, town,
Quite
village.
literally the objective.
Let them do what they want.
We're doing
So the line stretches through the day. You two are forced to make awkward small talk with each other. Possibly some vendors come up and try and sell you meat on sticks or pickles, another sort of light fare that you can eat, and you're free to spend money on that if you want to. Probably get a stein of beer here if you want. There are certainly lots of stalls set up specifically along this stretch where humans and elves and the odd halfling or gnome or other sort of non-human race, sort of rarer race, are selling clothing, junk weapons, jewelry, sort of little statuettes, boxes, bags, odds and ends, in addition to that food, that sort of street food that I mentioned. So time progresses. Neither of you guys seem particularly interested in buying anything, so you probably shake away the urchins who try and, or the vendors who try and hawk their goods on you. And many of them probably avoid you because you're both pretty dirty and rough looking, frankly.
It doesn't look like we have a lot of money to spend.
No, it probably doesn't. And so they probably avoid you in favor of others. You've probably noticed that the woman in front of you, when she turns away vendors, just says no. She hasn't said any other word in the local tongue, Landsneer tongue.
But she has spoken in a different tongue?
She says no in the local
Okay,
Landsneer
but that's what
tongue.
she's saying.
I wrote them, so I should remember what they are.
For some reason, they're
Panicking because my computer's turned off and I can't access my notes. That's fine. But the day stretches on. As you get closer to the gate, you notice the two guards in long mail hauberks, both shouldering halberds, just chewing away on an apple, probably middle-aged. One of them's a much heavier frame than the other. The one chewing the apple seems quite lean, are taking coins from people in line and letting them pass through. It seems he's taking coins from people who are by themselves, more coins, than those who are traveling with carts or goods. Squatting in a ditch around the sort of stone and wood wall of Sigurdsgraf, which rises up around the lower city, are two strange-looking fellows. Actually, just one. Who is so bulky that he blocks most of the other. It is a Zog, swine-headed. You probably remember them from the introduction crawl. The Zog are a savage race, a monstrous race, an animal race of pigmen. They tend to stand between 7 or 8 feet tall, but that is measuring them with their hunches, their stooping body. They have thick barrel chests, usually they're 4 feet across. Very strong and very scarred, and this one is no different. He wears a sort of leather vest covered in rusted ringmail and has a heavy morning star which you think would probably take 2 hands to lift. Junaluska. Angus, you're not sure you can lift it at all. Blood-stained across his crossed knees. He's sort of just staring off into the line, dazedly, not really focusing on anything.
Gotta watch out for those ones. A nasty business.
Especially when they get into the drinks.
Or when they want to kill you. Which is always.
Which is always.
More interestingly, perhaps, is the fellow leaning against his back. You can see maybe part of his arm and his beak. Beak is very important in this case, as Angus seems to have realized.
Fellow Dogman.
It is a fellow duckman, yes. His beak is slightly bent and scarred as if he'd been hit by a sword. It's healed badly. You can see the brown feathers sticking out from one of his arms from behind the duck, but he's almost entirely obscured by the sheer size of this massive brute in the way.
They look like mercenaries then.
Don't think he's a slave either. Well, maybe he's the pigman slave. You never know.
They are
Wonderful
beautiful
people.
friends.
That's wonderful. It's been a long time since I've seen a duckman. Not a lot of them long enough.
Maybe we'll have an easier time getting through the gates than we imagined.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. Why would they not let us in?
On that note, the line progresses to the point where the woman gets to be next in line. And she nods to the 2 guards and tries to guide her horse through. The 2 guards drop their halberds in the way, and one grabs quite quickly and violently on the reins. Those of you with animal handling, I believe you have it. Angus, I should say the name. Do you have animal handling?
I do not.
You do not? Okay. You can tell in an instant that this horse is very nervous about the rough treatment that it's just received. And you can see the woman's knees tense on its sides to try and keep it calm, keep it from kicking or rearing up. It would make a very bad scene. 2 guards are sort of angrily demanding that she pays the head toll of a silver piece to be let into the city for the market day. And she is talking to them in a language that I don't think either of you can understand. Neither of you can speak the northern language?
Oh no.
Nope. Northern language? Yeah, neither of you can understand what she's saying in that case. Do hear no occasionally. Alright, do either of you guys want to get involved in this little
Oh,
confrontation?
definitely not.
No, it does not concern me.
I lean over to you. Do you have money?
Yes, I have.
Wonderful.
If you recall, I have a bit saved in case we need to.
Oh, good.
As you are discussing your own chances of getting in the gate, the 2 guards sort of surround her horse, and for an instant you see her hand go towards her sword, or it seems she thinks better of it and she is turned away. And she sort of rides into the market square, eyeing the guards more even over her horse. And you're next in line.
Hello, good sir.
You hear the Zog to the right of you in the ditch snort as you walk into his view. You've just entered his view because he wasn't bothering to turn his head. And his loud snort seems to alert the other duck man behind him, who peeks up over his head, putting his little clawed hands onto his companion's skull and lifting his beaked head over. He is a green-headed drake duck, unlike you, who is brown gray-feathered. And you can see his beak turn into a smile, and he says, "Ah, brother! I didn't expect to see you here!" And he vaults over top of the duckman and walks up towards you with his arms spread out.
Oh, I will embrace for sure, wholeheartedly.
So the 2 of you hug, and he whispers into your ear, "Don't worry, I need your elf friend to get through the gates.
Oh,
We'll pay our heads."
okay.
And he pats you on the back, and he says, "Zog, get up!" And the pig man grunts and pulls himself to his feet.
They're with us.
This
Old
must
friends.
be your brother.
Yes, sure.
I would only
We are brothers,
embrace
yes.
my brother in such fashion, so it must be your brother.
Of course. We're related. We're duckmen.
When you finish your quick conversation and turn to the 2 guards, they're both looking at you stone-faced.
Hello.
One of them sighs, the one who's not eating an apple, under his breath, while the other one goes to lean up against the wall again. I would like to describe this duckman, who has yet to say his name. He is wearing a suit of studded leather armor that hangs in a short skirt down to his knees. He is girded with a short sword, and hanging from his belt as well is a spiked buckler, as well as a long and vicious-looking dagger. He is certainly equipped for a fight. Jay, you probably see a similar sling tied around his arm, the one that you have around yours.
Definitely a fellow warrior.
Greetings, guards. We're passing through.
You here for the market?
That's
No.
right.
Which of you is talking?
I shall talk.
Really, I think the elf should talk. He's the only one who'd normally be allowed in.
Okay.
Yes, let me take
But I
the
am
lead
here on important business.
So, elf, what's your name?
I am Jack.
Right. You here for the market?
That's right.
Are you selling or are you buying?
I'm buying.
Right. No goods?
No, I don't carry any goods with me.
The Duckman and the Zog, who seems to be called Zog, if what the duck said is anything to go by, both vigorously shake their heads. Well, the duck does. Zog kind of drools a bit. The duck produces 2 silver pieces from his pocket. After the guard demands that you pay 2 silver each. Or a silver each, even. Sorry.
Yes, I grab a couple from my pouch as well.
Which is quite a high price for entry into a city, I might add. The guards wave you in with the warning to keep your weapons stowed away. Take that wick out of that gun. Comes one call.
Okay. Fine. Yes, of course. I follow proper gun management. I take a look at it.
What did you go about saying no there?
Well, I was going to explain to them that I was meeting up with the people after the siege, and it was very important to meet up with him.
Well, humans don't care about that. They just want to hear yes.
Yeah, but they care about the fall.
Your discussion is interrupted by a tap on your shoulder.
Yes.
And you turn around to see the Duckman who crossed over with you. He bows very elegantly and introduces himself as Puck the Duck, which is quite conveniently the name of my DeviantArt account, where you can find a number of maps of both Sigvard's Vatch, the Markgrafschaft that they're adventuring in, that is sort of a border province that they're adventuring in, as well as a map of the 3 kingdoms of Torith, which is the general setting of this campaign. There are also a number of choose-your-way adventures on that site, in addition to some short stories and drawings I have for other settings. But the choose-your-way adventures are also set in Torith, if you want to learn more about the setting outside of this podcast, I guess. They're all pretty bad, but I hope you enjoy them. They all use the fighting fantasy mechanics, and the rules can all be found on my DeviantArt, which is, again, Puck the Duck. But he bows and introduces himself. He gestures with a thumb towards his companion and says he's Zog, which is both, it would seem, his name and his species.
I'll sort of bow back, not as elegantly, and introduce myself as, I am Angus MacLeod, of the Clan MacLeod.
Now that you get a better look at him, probably notice that the feathers on one of his shoulders have been torn out and are missing in a patch. That seems to be the only other injury that is obvious on his body. Zog is covered with a latticework of scars, but so far still has both of his ears, both of his eyes.
He's doing well.
He does have a couple gold piercings.
What are the chances that we'd run into your brother here?
Puck? Very high. He's always around these parts. Yeah.
You can drop it,
Okay.
says Puck. But you helped me through the gate. So why don't we find an inn and I can discuss some business with you?
Oh,
I need some men for a job. You seem like a rough sort.
of course. I am very skilled at some things.
You are led through sort of away from the opening of the gate, down the main thoroughfare into the bustling market. If you thought the outside was busy, the inside is even more cramped. Partially because of the density of the buildings, but also just because of how many people there are here. You are quickly enveloped in the crowd, and that is where we will leave this scene.